And that brings us to the point I promised to discuss with you, and that is negotiating, the capacity to negotiate. And I will tell you something, to discuss this negotiating very effectively, the greatest instrument that's available to me will have to be the Bible. And I have to give you the capacity of people to negotiate in the Bible, that people that negotiated themselves into greatness in the Bible. And when I started this lecture on skills, I referred a lot to the man David. I want to start with him again today in giving you the skills of negotiating. Now, why the Bible? Because I found that everybody, in fact in every home, there are certain homes you can't find nothing less than 7 Bibles. So it's like, it's a volume, it's a resource that is completely at your disposal. If I refer you to any of my law books, you may never get that. But I need to give you examples from an instrument you can relate to it. Now, the man David came to the battlefront and he saw Goliath and knew he could kill Goliath. He did not volunteer immediately to go and kill Goliath. He did something. He asked a question. And I'm sure most of you know the question he asked. What was the question David asked? He said, is there anything that will be done for the person that will kill this man? Is there something that will be done for the person that will kill this man? Look, and he kept asking that question until he got an answer. He knew he could kill Goliath. He was so sure about it. He was so sure of himself. But he was not going to volunteer to kill a giant for free. He was not going. He was a young person. He was a young man. Remember that his elder brother even found his question unacceptable. But he refused to stop asking, is there anything that will be done for the person that will kill this man? And until they gave him an answer, and what were the answers? One, he will be the king's son-in-law, and then his family will be free from taxation. He said, I will go and kill him. So what was David doing? David was negotiating. David was finding a way to enhance his person by the skill he already acquired. What were those skills? He could kill the lion and the bear that came to took his lamb. He killed them. He knew he already had what it takes to take it. And again, I told you the last time that the stones with which David killed Goliath, David did not come to the battlefront with them. He picked those stones at the battlefront. He picked them there. And that was a stone that most people have passed, and it meant nothing to them. For David, it was a tool with which to war and to fight. And the last time I told you, look at your environment. Most of the things you're looking for are there. Somebody very close to you will actually be helpful to you if you know he could. So David negotiated himself into becoming the king's son-in-law. He negotiated his family out of taxation by actually confronting that. Now, is there another example I would like to give you? Definitely, certainly. You remember the story of Jephthah. Jephthah, his people came to him to fight for them, and he did not volunteer to fight. He told them, if I go and fight for you, will I be your captain? Will you make me your head? And they said, yes, we will. And of course, he went and fought for them. After they swore to him, after they committed themselves by oath, which by today should mean contractual relationship. Today will mean that they executed the necessary documents to ensure that what they said will be given the validity of law, can be enforceable. That's negotiating. And then I will take a final example for now on that, and I will take this from a woman in the Bible, and that is the person we call Rahab. Of course, we know the story of Rahab very well. She was able to salvage the spies, save them, protect them, hedge them. But when they were leaving, when they were going, she was able to negotiate the protection of her own family and the protection of herself. And if you remember how the events occurred, when Joshua was going to finally conquer Jericho, he made sure he gave effect to that commitment. Ask yourself, assuming Rahab had not asked. Ask yourself, assuming David had not asked. Ask yourself, assuming Jephthah had not asked. There are so many things you may be doing, so many values you're giving without asking, without knowing that there is something in it for you. You need to negotiate. But then when you negotiate, try and negotiate for win-win. Negotiate to win and negotiate for the other person to win. If you negotiate to win and for the other person to lose, there may be no deal after that one you just won. Because the other person may be bleeding, may be hurt, may be distasted, and that could actually hamper your capacity to do business continuously. I am told of an Hausa proverb that says that when you eat and wash the plate and we spend time next week, and again remember to get your copy of this book. I will keep talking about this book because I believe in it. I have seen it work great things in the lives of people. Get your copy. And then I want you to be part of this program. It's presently sponsored by Christian Legal Chambers, Legal Practitioners, and Shekina Resources Nigeria Limited, Corporate System Consultants. It's our own way of applying back to the society. It's our own way of giving back to Nigeria, because Nigeria is a great nation and we believe in this country, and we believe we can give back through a program like this. You may have the same passion like others are indicating, and we're very grateful to the people who are already showing interest, who are making commitments to being part of the co-sponsorship of this program. You are welcome to be part of this program. Let us build a country that we can give to our own offsprings, to those coming after us. Let's leave a legacy, and one of them will be through a program like this. Once again, thank you very much for being my guest. I am still Christian Wogu. Bye bye and God bless you.
That is who you are in the midst of your people. Holy God, righteous God, that excellent in strength and in power, we worship you. You are my master, you are my God, you are the fountain that flows with life. take one ride with you. How I used to kick it on the front porch with you. How I used to lay back and smoke with you. All the little basement party joints we do. Now I'm just...
Welcome viewers to this week's edition of your favorite wealth building program, Multimillonaire Mindset Round Table. The mindset is a production factory. Our mission in this program is to reset the minds of Nigerians into greatness. Because we know that Nigeria is a great country, and we know that Nigerians are great people. So we want to be able to match Nigeria's potential greatness into actual greatness. We are resilient, we accept challenges, and we are survivors. And we are very confident that we can produce great people that can match the greatest in the world. And then this one achieved through deployment or appropriate deployment of world power, the power of the world. One of the things we need in this country are philosophers, national philosophers, people that will speak greatness into this nation and speak greatness into our people. But our people are great. It takes great people to speak greatness into people and let people know that they could make it, they could achieve it. So I know that Nigeria can achieve optimum employment. Everybody in Nigeria can be employed. We can actually begin to employ from outside of Nigeria. Just the same thing happening where Nigerians are leaving this country to take employment outside of the shores of this country, and some of them never make it. The seas, the oceans, the deserts consume a whole lot of them. I think we can achieve the reverse of it. I know it. I know we can. We can begin to be the employers of labor, where nations will cross oceans and seas and deserts to come to look for work in Nigeria. And that's what we want to achieve through this program. We know that Nigeria can become an economic and political superpower by empowering people like you, somebody like you listening to me. By the time you're empowered, by the time you know you can do it, by the time you know that there are enough resources in this land to match your potential capacity, and you begin to deploy those capacity to match those resources, we can be sure that when each and every one of us contributes that unit capacity, we're able to develop a superpower economically. And it takes setting of the mind, getting the mind properly set to accomplish that. And I know that powerful and creative words coming forth from great minds is a much needed tool, and one of our objective is to provide that service, provide those words that will move Nigerians into actual greatness. I am Christian Wogun. I am the author of the mega book Multimillonaire Mindset. I've told you about that book severally, and I want to encourage you, if you've not gotten that book and if you've not read it and you don't own a copy, please make sure you get your own copy today or as soon as possible. And I've told you several that you can get it in Union Bank Moroni or Silverbird Galleria, New Metro, Silverbird Galleria or New Metro ShopRite or CSS Bookshop or Chartered Business Bankers Bookshop and so many other leading outlets. Please get that book, give it as a present this time that we are getting into the gift season. Make sure that the book is one of the things you give. And corporate bodies should buy in bulk and give to all your workers. That's exactly one great thing you can do for your workforce. Empower them with the book Multimillonaire Mindset book, out of which this round table was actually carved from. Empower your people with that book, and I'm sure they will be glad you did. I'm a lawyer and the principal partner of Christian Wogun Chambers. I am also a business coach, and I've offered to become your coach in this program. I shall be your anchor person in this whole building program. This program promises to raise multiple financially independent entrepreneurs. Keep a date with me on this channel by this time, and I also enjoin you to please call and text your family, your friends to switch over to this channel immediately and become part of this program. And you won't be doing anything wrong if you please call your enemies too to switch over. That would be a good way to make up, actually a great way to make up. Because after listening to this program, I believe that the person will be actually grateful and know that you are thinking the best for him or for her. Now, in respect to sponsorship, it's a private sector-driven initiative and is sponsored by Christian Global Chambers and then Shekinah Resources Nigeria Limited. And then we are getting co-sponsors. Some of them actually want to be anonymous. But we are grateful for recognizing the fact that this is a noble objective and for lending support to ensure that we build a nation that will be second to none in the community of nations. The passion of this program is actually to plow back to the society, to give back to Nigeria, and you are very much welcome. Now, we are going to continue the series we started, and that series is on effective ways of doing business with or without capital. I'm going to be taking you and continuing from where we stopped. But I'm sure for those that are joining today, we would want to help you to catch up where we actually will take off from today. I told you we need to learn something, be trained. It may be formal training, it may be informal training. As far as I'm concerned, none of them actually takes precedence to the other. You can be educated formally, you can be educated informally. And I've been able to draw a poster in this program that we don't have to discount those that are trained informally, because it's been shown over and over again that those that train informally today are actually those employing those that trained formally. Maybe you didn't understand what I said. I actually meant what I said. What you had was exactly what I said. That those that train informally, those will discount and say they are uneducated or they are illiterate. Go back and check. You find that they are actually the people that the educated ones are applying to be employed, writing applications to. For employment, could be writing to their organization, to their companies, to their corporate representatives, or whatever they represent. But the fact remains that it is that man you call your boss, that man you're so proud to introduce as your boss. Take another look at him and you may find out that he may not actually be as educated as you are, but actually he pays you at the end of the month. And I've also been able to establish that in most cases, it is actually the uneducated that house the educated. That means the educated usually pay rent to the uneducated. I mean, think about it and you will see that it's actually true. So there's a need to learn, there's a need to train and learn. Make sure you have some skill. That's part of what it will take you. These are capital. These things are capital. They are more than money. If you don't have these and I give you money, you waste it. Then there are no two ways about it. If I give you all the money you think you need in this world and you lack skill, you will waste every kobo of that money, no matter how much you want. And I give that to you. That's true, very true. It's as true as that. But if you have skill and you don't have money, your skill will generate money for you. That's what makes the difference. So you need to get skill. You need to acquire skill. You need to know what it takes to make money. Most of you earn salary, so you don't really know what it means to make money. I mean, the comfort, the fact that at the end of the month you be paid provides some kind of comfort to you, some kind of false security. But you need to learn how to make money. It's a skill that you can you cannot trade for anything. You can bequeath it. You can pass it on. You can generate more people that have skills. You can train more people that are skillful when you are skilled. So please acquire skill, whatever you can do. And I've said it severally, that no matter what you do, you can become a millionaire from it. No matter what you do, you don't need to do something else than what you're doing. You don't need to do somebody else's business. That's your own business, whatever you do. All you need to do is to find better ways of doing it, better ways of multiplying yourself in that business. That's what it takes to become a millionaire, to be able to create the marginal naira in several places. That is, instead of the one naira you create in a place, you multiply the capacity to create it in several places. That means over time, in a given point in time, if you create one naira and in another given point in time, you can create that one naira into two, and you can make it three, and you multiply it as far as your imagination can stretch. But it's all about how far you can see. If you can see yourself doing businesses beyond Nigeria, if you can see yourself doing businesses in every state of this country, in every local government of this country, doing the same thing that you're doing, the same thing, taking it beyond this country, in that case you can earn foreign exchange. So we don't need to only get our foreign exchange from the naira, from the petroleum, from the oil, naira petroleum this time. Incidentally, we own the petroleum, so it should be actually naira petroleum. You can earn foreign exchange from what you're doing. When we get a lot of Nigerians producing things, providing services that can be taken out of this country, and that we can have an inflow of foreign currencies. That is, people outside of Nigeria who want to buy our currency in order to get the businesses we are providing. And there is no other way I can think of to enhance the value of the naira over and above that. So please, you need to acquire skill and be diligent in what you do. Do what you do to do it better than who does it best. Apply yourself to it. Spend time. Spend extra hour. Spend the marginal hour. Play as much and as hard as you can, but please work very, very hard. Put emphasis on work. Respect work. God loves work. God wants us to work. And I want our preachers to begin to preach appropriately. Teach your people to work. Think of what it would be like if you have a congregation of 1,000 persons and you ensure that those 1,000 persons are doing something. I think not doing anything in a church should be a good ground to suspend a member. If we can get our preachers to begin to preach hard work. Yes, with all I believe in all the grace preachings, all the favor preachings, and everything. But we need to counterbalance it with the hard work component of it. Teach people dignity of labor. Teach them to work with their hands. That's what was taught in the scriptures. Let them work with their hands. Let's create a Nigeria. Let the ministers of the gospel be in the forefront of it. Please, tell your people to work. Somebody must be doing something. And there are so many medium and small scale trainers. Get some of them to train your people. And after the training, insist that somebody must do something. If, for instance, everybody in your church, most people in your church that you consider employed today are even doing only grass cutter farming, let them just breed grass cutters, and the church can support them. And because of the signage of the church, you can attract a microfinance bank with the church guaranteeing these facilities, and you're grouping the people into some kind of cooperatives, so that we need to build a great country. So teach people to be diligent, and please, those of you listening, having the privilege to listen to me directly, be diligent. You don't need to be supervised. Don't work in your office only when you're supervised. Work as if every work depends on you, because it really may and it really could. So be diligent, and I've told you, you need to save. You need to save. There are too many things competing for expenses. All the adverts on television, on radio, newspaper, everywhere, billboard, they are actually compelling you to spend. To spend. And sometimes some of these things, adverts and the financial institutions also helping, they want you to spend your future. So that you have spent your future. I mean, some of the cars you're riding, you want to spend your future. You spent into your future because of course it's comfortable. But in everything you do, you must consider, what are you leaving behind? I mean, if something happens to you, God forbid, what are you leaving behind? What legacy are you leaving behind? What liabilities or assets are you leaving behind? Are you leaving behind debts? Or are you leaving behind assets? Ask yourself. So you must save. Please save. Save some money. And I've told you, savings is also a function for investment. That means investment is a function of savings. You can't invest if you don't have any savings. And don't ever tell me you have nothing, because you need to know that the way God designed life, He designed life in such a way that any given point in time, you always have something. There's always something that you have. So you save, and then I told you about agency, and told you about negotiating. Now I promised you that when we come today, I will be applying negotiation skills to your own routine, and I will use a few things. Before I discuss negotiating, I talked about agency. I talked about situations where somebody is a service consumer and somebody else is a service provider. And the agent, the man in between, you may not want to call yourself an agent. That name may not be pleasing to you. But I can assure you that most businesses are agency based. Possibly where you work, it may not be an agent per se. Let's take the generating companies for instance. Most of them don't manufacture generators, they don't. They are actually representatives of some foreign firms. And when they buy, they come and sell to those that need it. They are just in between. And I can assure you that non-Nigerians are doing that so well in this country. I think that Nigerians can play better in it. They can play, but you just understand the principle, the concept. So long as you're not a primary producer, you are in between, you are a channel that make other people get the service or the product of the primary producer. You are an agent, and anybody can be an agent, and you don't need too much capital to be an agent. Let's take real estate agency for instance. The ability to provide information to a potential purchaser can cause a deal to transact, and when that deal transacts, you are entitled to payment from either party or both parties. But I tell you by experience what I've observed, most people that end up actually getting that payment are people that got their information from somebody else, who, because that person didn't know that what he or she was providing was worth some value, just did it out of courtesy, out of being a great person, good Samaritan, and somebody else made income from that service. But I'm telling you that you need to be watchful. It takes watchfulness to be a builder of wealth. And one way you can be watchful is to take responsibility for your wealth building. One of the things that make people watchless is things like this job security. And I call job security actually insecurity. It is false security. If you know you must survive and you have an opportunity to make money, you recognize the opportunity. When you miss it, you will know that this is an opportunity and recognize it. So your capacity to be able to negotiate and tell you, the seller, if I am able to link this person to you, I will make this money from you. Do you accept that or not? Of course, we can agree about these things ahead of time. And then if you need to also talk to the buyer and get the buyer to also agree that you are entitled to some payment, in that case, you now stand to benefit. Now, you can do this unconsciously, like most of you may be doing unconsciously, and when you now know that this is worth money, this is value, you can begin to do it consciously. You may not have all the skills. You may need to learn under somebody. When you recognize that this is a potential way of making money. And because of learning, you acquire more skills, and then eventually you can begin to do it on your own and alone and make more money and make more wealth. So in that case, you can apply negotiation to such. And then other ways to apply negotiation, of course, is in buying and selling. You need to buy and sell. And I found out that buying and selling is a very potential way of building wealth. You buy something from somewhere where it is cheap and go to somewhere else where you can make a margin and sell it. And by the time you sell a whole lot of it, you are building your wealth. And you can buy and sell, and just like you can be an agent in anything, you can buy and sell something as small as a recharge card, if you consider that small, or foodstuff. You can buy and you can graduate. You can begin to buy and sell land, buy and sell houses, buy and sell cars, you could even buy and sell ships or aircrafts. You know, from one state to the other. But it depends on your outlook. It depends on what you are seeing. It depends on your view, how far you can see. It's really important here. Another place you can also apply the skill of negotiating, of course, is in real estate, owning your own home. I really strongly encourage people to do their best to own their own houses. Why do I do this? Why do I say that? Because I've noticed that most landlords are not necessarily richer than the tenants. Your present landlord may not be necessarily richer than you are. It's just that along the line, he applied himself to building something, and today he has something standing and you are paying rent. Now, think of what it would be like if you can save on your rent. That is the rent you pay every year. Either your house rent or your office rent or both. What respite, what relief you could have that you are saving or you're no more paying rent. You are now an owner of a house yourself. And you know, because of tastes, especially the middle class, the taste they have, you know, they prefer to pay as much as can buy and build in a place they consider remote or far. They don't want to go and buy and build there. They rather pay rent and live in a place that is posh and exposed and open. But I have an interesting comment to make here. The place you consider open today, the place you consider tasteful today, yesterday was remote. It was far-fetched, it was a far distance. But today development has caught up with it and it has become a prime place. The other place that you consider remote today, I will also assure you that by tomorrow is going to be prime. So find a place, go as far as you can go, get into some kind of land acquisition and purchase and begin to build a property for yourself, and all the processes of acquiring land and building every bit of it is a function of negotiation. So I have been able to take you this far on today's wealth building training and coaching. I've been able to explain to you a number of things you can apply negotiation skills into. Hopefully when we come by your way next time, I'll be discussing a very interesting subject, and that is corporate systems. And it's something, it's a knowledge you will need to have. I'm signing out, but don't forget to go pick the book, Multimillonaire Mindset.